Now, Jake, I want to talk about the industry real quick.
Okay.
Switching gears.
Okay.
I want to talk about this industry because there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of change up. There's a lot of questions revolving around all of the franchisors popping up in the senior healthcare industry. Why is that?
It's a popular industry. We talk about the boomings, with the senior care population basically doubling over the next 10 to 15 years. And then it's proven, experts say that the senior care industry is recession proof to some extent. So, when the economy is at a downturn, people are still going to need help and still need care because healthcare doesn't really care how strong or weak the economy is. And so with profit margins the way they are in our industry, the low cost to start up a business, it's kind of a no-brainer when people want to start a senior care. To start a senior care business, it's a no-brainer because it's something everybody's going to be needing. The question is, what's going to make you different from everybody else? And that's the question that I don't see a lot of my competition answering very well.
Well, you mentioned this before in one of your other videos. What is some of the hurdles? What are some of the hurdles with senior healthcare, and what should a potential franchisee expect when trying to enter or make a decision on a senior healthcare company?
They should expect there's going to take a lot of research. The rules and regulations regarding senior care changes from state by state, so you're going to have to learn what the rules and regulations are for your state. The biggest hurdles you can see are managing the caregiver staff. Unfortunately, as much as we hate to admit it, but it's true, caregiver staff are very transient. They can work and do work for multiple agencies. And so the hard part about that is they could be working for my agency and agency X. And if agency X has a better shift or a better client for them, they're going to stop working for my agency or not go see my client with literally no notice. That's the hard part, is there's no accountability, no certification or oversight for these caregivers like you would with like an RN or a CNA or a doctor. Those have oversight. In our industry, there's not. Now, I'm lobbying to get that, but that's just a hurdle that people have to work with. So there's ways to create loyalty within your company to slow that down or prevent that from happening, that we've figured out. But that's a big hurdle, is managing those care staff for sure.
Yeah, and in any staffing or semi-staffing company, you're going to have those issues. You're going to run into that. But in regards to the industry, it has a massive growth. You're talking about, once again, if you could run through the numbers with me real quick. I don't remember the exact statistics. I know that we're looking at about 30 to 40 million seniors being 65 and older right now, or in that range. It's supposed to grow to around 88 million seniors in the 65 range in the next 15 years or so. Is that about right? Did I get that right?
And 70, yeah. So it's about 50 million right now, and then they predict by like 2025 it's supposed to be up closer to 80 million, and they predict about 70% of the people, of the seniors, are going to need some form of care from caregivers. In the non-medical world, I also see that we're in the middle of a bubble, or we're at the start of a boom, if you will. The demand has never been higher or greater for us. But I also see, with changes in hospital reimbursements and changes to Medicare, and what they're working towards, they have not realized it yet, but Medicare and health insurance companies, they're going to rely at some point and depend upon non-medical home care for the success of their patients as they move through the continuum of care. So when people enter the hospital and going home, with the way hospitals get paid and the way Medicare is really focused on preventing hospitalizations or preventing rehospitalizations, non-medical home care, in my opinion, is going to have a huge, huge, huge role in that. And so I don't think a lot of brands or agencies are prepared or predicting that yet, but if you stop and think about it, it's kind of it's not hard to see the signs, if you will. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense because if you look at a lot of the industry reports that are coming out now, and guys, I encourage you, don't take these statistics to heart. Look on IBIZ World, look at industry and tracking support systems. Look at go to Google Scholar and just look up studies that have been done in reputable sources, and you'll see the same figures that we're looking at right now. And I'll be able to provide a few links at underneath this video for you to help you and encourage you to look at these statistics and these numbers to really see where this is going, because at the end of the day, it's going to be your research that boils down to it. But the industry as a whole, by far, there's enough room for more expansion. There will be, I guarantee you, more franchises that pop up. There is going to be a lot more growth, and even with Jake and his company being fairly new, you're going to see this grow. You're going to see growth in all these franchises. So keep in mind, when a franchise starts its life cycle, it starts out fairly inexpensive because of what it's capable of giving you, and as it grows in brand strength, usually the territory sizes decrease and usually the cost goes up because it is such a successful system. Now, is that kind of counter to the whole point of being in a successul franchisee to begin with? If you're going to be, if you're going to be marginalized so much as it goes on, yeah, probably. But overall, you're trying to find a system that's going to work and that you can validate. So you can validate you can validate all day long positively that there is a market for what this is.
Well, can I add to that?
Yeah.
To me, brand name doesn't mean anything, honestly. You can take a look at the biggest brand names in the senior care industry, but they're not successful because of their brand name, in my opinion. And I know this for just working in it hands-on. When you work with hospitals and referral sources who want to refer you a client, they don't refer clients to you as an agency owner because of your brand name. They care about their clients so much that they refer to you because they trust you and who you are. So in my opinion, brand name really doesn't mean anything. So as an emerging brand, what really is important, in my opinion, in the franchise world when choosing a franchise to work with is their training systems, their training processes. How are they going to support you as a franchisee? Do they have the right tools to differentiate you among your competitors? Those are the things that really stand out. In my opinion, brand name doesn't mean anything. In fact, I can show examples of how big major brand names in the market that I'm in really are the worst ones.
Well, yeah, I mean, with all the news around a lot of the negligence that has occurred and the reason why legality pops up, you're right. As far as success and name brand and doctors, kind of referring just based off of name, that happens too. But, you're going to have to look into that yourself. You're going to have to research it. I mean, at the end of the day, you need to put in your own research and need to talk to a lot of franchisees. And I think the biggest point that we have here is that Jake, you kind of hit the nail on the head with doctors and referral sources. That is a major part of what a franchisee does in this business, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And with that, starting out as a franchisee in a system, in any system, you're going to be seeking out referral sources, and you're not going to be able to get business cranking until those referral sources are referring people to you. So, okay. And that's another hurdle that you're going to have to overcome. You building relationships. If you haven't been in business before, or haven't been in sales before, or haven't had that experience, it's a hurdle.
Yep.
So with this industry, what are some of the trends that you've seen? What are some of the things that you think are important for a franchise seeker to know
when starting a franchise?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Don't do it yourself. If you're trying to go in as a one-man show and start something from the ground up, you're going to be way too busy in trying to do everything that you're going to do. You're either going to burn yourself out or you're going to make mistakes. My suggestion is at least have two of you, or at least 1.5 of you, where one person focuses on customer service, staffing the cases, and back office stuff. the payroll, the billing, all that stuff, and then one person focusing on growth. In my opinion, as a former small business consultant, any small business can fail because the owners get too tied up on managing the day-to-day stuff and managing the back office stuff that they don't put enough resources into growing their business. Or they do the other, the flip side of that. So you want to make sure that you have some support so that when you're starting something from the ground up, you're not pulling your hair out because you're working too much, which is easy to do. So in our model, what we require is, we want somebody out there full-time marketing, plus we want somebody managing the back office stuff. And the systems that we've created really supports that. So we made it really simple. We simplified the back office stuff quite a bit.
Okay, I was going to ask about automation. I personally believe that that's what you're paying for as part of your franchise fee in the first place. It is essentially a system that's already built and constructed for you.
Correct.
And in this day and age, in technology, it's everywhere. You can use technology to save you a lot of money and time.
Yep.
It should be there as a part of your franchise fee. So what is your perception on that? What have you seen, and what how does that work and function in your industry?
Well, our company is we're I think ahead of the curve. Me and my partners are very technologically savvy and loves technology. So we strive to have a paperless system in place. So all of our missions people can do on a tablet and do it from the client's home and send it directly to your care staff. We streamlined the payroll. So the software system we use that does our scheduling and keeping track of our clients and keeping track of our caregivers and employees. It's really simple. We utilize telephony so people can clock in and out instead of having paper care notes. They can document electronically the duties they do while they're in the home. And then that simplifies the payroll process, because off of that, the computer basically calculates the payroll, and with a few clicks of a button, payroll's shot off and payroll's done. And the same with the billing. With a few clicks of a button, billing's done. If you're working on Medicaid billing, if you're trying to take Medicaid, dealing with Medicaid billing can be really scary, and because there's a lot of regulations and it's complicated. We've got a system in place where a couple pushes of the buttons and billing's submitted to the state electronically. So, as we grow, we'll start investing in more bigger, brighter pieces of technology. But as it sits right now, I think we're a little ahead of the curve as far as what we're offering technology-wise to make life easier. So it's a mobile world. The days of paper and sitting in office are kind of gone. There's always a bigger, better way to do things. And that's what we try to find.
Awesome. And I back that up, with anything that you're doing now and any franchise that you're searching for, having that personal relationship with people is going to be important. So being in front of those people, and particularly in this industry, in front of doctors or with them or scheduling lunches or taking them out and really building those relationships, having all of those back end functions really handled in a much more methodical and cheaper way using the technology you have available is the way you're going to keep your functions improving and your processes more refined. So that's my take on it. And, I'm a little bit younger, so I embrace technology, I think, more so than some of my clients really have. Technology can be scary. I mean, I'll admit that right now, even at my age, there are technologies out there that scare the pants off me because it's what some other folks are using or what they've been brought up with, and it's hard to make that transition, and it's always changing, and so you're always having to learn. So with that case, I mean, does your franchise might really help train in introducing people to that technology and working with that?
We offer the ability for people to either embrace technology or not embrace technology. So they have their choice. If they want to go a full paper system, they're going to complicate their life a little bit, and they're going to work harder. But if that's what they want to do, that they can. But we do heavily encourage people to go and utilize the systems that we've got set up in place, because it's going to streamline the operations, streamline the function. So with our support and with the training that we offer, it's extremely hands-on. I'm not a big fan of sitting in a classroom for a week and then only retaining 25% of that and then sending them off to their location to now go do it. When people come and work with us for the initial training, and then when we go out and work with them in their office, at their location, it's all hands-on. I'm gonna show you exactly where to click your mouse button and what to do and how to do it, and write things down for you and create the protocols and take screenshots and figure out the best way to train and teach you how to do it. Because there's, as you know, no two people learn the same way. So what's the best way for you to learn how to do something, and I'll show you how to do it in that way.
All right, and that's perfect. That's a good example of how many franchisors are supposed to take you through things. Now, granted, with some of the larger franchisors, it's not always going to be one-on-one, and I'm going to be on with a few others as well that are going to be larger, and they're going to show you, what their training staff does and how they take you through things. One is not necessarily better than the other. It's just a matter of what are they teaching you, what are you learning, what are you comfortable with learning, and how are you comfortable with learning. There's a lot of interrogatives there that you're going to have to cover in your questioning. But that's what we do as franchise brokers. We help you create questioning plans and go through this. But Jake, I appreciate your help with analyzing and assessing and kind of breaking down the industry a little bit for us. Do you have any other pieces or topics that you would really like us to know with in regards to the senior healthcare industry and what you think or thoughts on the subject?
No, just make sure you do your research. Like I talked about, there's a lot of changes to the way hospitals are being reimbursed soon, which is going to have a big impact on the non-medical home care world. And people are always scared about minimum wages going up and stuff like that. I'm not too worried about that. So obviously you need to be aware of those legislations that are happening, but I don't think it's going to make or break our industry. In fact, I think it strengthens the position we were putting ourselves in our company. For those of you who don't know, we teach our people to not just work with one payer source. We teach them to work with multiple payer sources. So whether the payer source is the client private paying, Medicaid, the VA program, I think down the road Medicare is going to pay for us. I think our program is set up for that success and that transition, and because of that, no matter what regulations or legislation goes through, we're going to be prepared for that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Jake, and thank you for hopping on with this industry report and this industry update. Guys, this is Franchise Talk. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our other social media feeds. But share this around. If people are in that senior healthcare network or looking at a senior healthcare business, you are really looking at a very profitable industry just in general. And that's evident by statistical reports that have come out in the last 2 years. And it's not a bandwagon thing. It's you're looking at a lot of people making a lot of money. And overall, you're looking at improving your lifestyle and your life just your life function. Taking care of people, if that's a big aspect of your life that you want to see implemented to help seniors and help people engage with their lives in their later years, this great industry to get into. You'll see a lot of effect in that. How much? It's going to be up to the franchise that you pick, but at the end of the day, I think you'll find what you need and how to get there. Thanks for watching Franchise Talk. Please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share us on social media. We are committed to assisting you so that you find franchises without the frustrations of internet searching and sites selling your information before you even get a chance to talk to franchises. If you want to simplify your life and have someone to facilitate your information collection, I'm here to be your personal resource and one-on-one coach. If you would like to be a guest on the show, to ask franchise bigwigs questions or contact me for franchise support, check out for my contact information below down in the description. Thanks for watching.